Erdra, the Clockwork City shall bear your weight no longer. Be gone.
You achieve nothing, little godling. The triad looms upon Somerset shores. All that is shall be ours.
Well done, my friend. Oh, enough theatrics, Luciana. On your feet. Luciana?
We should return to the surface. This is no place for mortals. The prisoner. At last. You are early. Or perhaps late. It makes little difference. I'm glad you've come. Tamriel owes you a debt. Restored, yes. I reclaimed my shadow, and with it, knowledge of what transpired and what's to come. But those calculations will keep. I owe you a boon. Service, like all equations, demands precise reciprocity. I wonder, what would you ask of me? Power. Interesting. Power to what end, I wonder? You possess a great well of potential. Unexplored depths, hidden by self-doubt and narrow perspective. Feel no shame. I know something of self-doubt. I can reveal this potential if you wish. Clever. At another time, in another place, I would gladly part with it. In truth, I have no interest in Daedric baubles. Unfortunately, the Shadow Queen still lurks on our threshold. I must send this key away, farther than your feet can carry you. Altruism, a rare trait. Luciana will die. If not here and now, then elsewhere and later. I can delay her death if you wish, but to what end? Consider carefully. Luciana means a great deal to me, but grief cannot be avoided, only deferred. Ask and you shall have it. It is done. The recalibration may take some time, but the proctor will make a full recovery. I know she will put this gift to good use. Please, take this as well. A token from my personal collection. It is and always has been yours. Strange. I spent lifetimes here in the world of tangible forms, but each time I emerge from the throne, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time. Broken, impoverished, beautiful. It seems I must delay my work for a time. When I reclaimed my shadow, I learned a great deal. Daedric plots, alliances and betrayals, the return of things lost in time, the loss of things the world thought certain. I have much to do. In the short term, I need Devaith Fear. He took his leave to attend to matters outside my fortress. I wish to speak with both of you in a more private setting. Please find Fear, and then meet me at the elegiac replication. We will speak in time. First find Devaith Fear. I wish for both of you to meet me at the elegiac replication, a memorial south of here. Our discussion should be away from prying eyes and ears, even those of my own people. You will find her in her retreat here in the Basilica. My factotums tend to her wounds even as we speak. Of course, you already know how this will end. I hope that knowledge brings you some measure of peace. Thank you both for coming.
Of course, old friend. You seem troubled. More troubled than usual, I mean.
Perceptive, as always. I do not wish to diminish your achievement, but Nocturnal's defeat here will be short-lived. What's more, she does not act alone. A third enemy looms at the edge of my sight. Their covetous eyes are now fixed on the Somerset Isles.
Then we should inform the rest of the Sijiks. They'll need to prepare.
I will inform them personally. I have a separate task for you, Devaith. Take the skeleton key. Keep it hidden for as long as you can. I trust that this task pleases you. After all, your love of such trinkets is what brought you here in the first place.
Sometimes I wonder if you see too much. I will keep it safe.
Farewell, Devaithfear. We will not meet again. I haven't visited this memorial for centuries, but even I need reminders every now and again. Do you like this place? It took me the better part of a decade to perfect it. Every stone and flower tells a story. Tales of how things were, how they ought to be. I thought about destroying it on more than one occasion. I'm glad I didn't. I know. Ask, and I will answer truthfully. Just know that the truth often fails to satisfy. You expect something grand, but I promised you the truth. I am only what time and circumstance made me. Son of a lost house, friend to a fallen king. Some will tell you that we are the product of our choices. I've never found that to be the case. I am whatever the people need me to be. A guardian, an oppressor. For some, too distant. For others, too meddlesome. I am the canvas upon which they paint their dreams and resentments. A vessel for their hopes and doubts. A mirror, nothing more. I don't. But my companions, Vivek and Almalexia, see their divinity as essential. Godhood brings them joy and purpose. They find meaning in the theatrical. Who am I to deprive them of that? Almalexia defies symbol analysis. I doubt she could even describe herself accurately. To understand Almalexia, you must first understand the value of fiction. Vivek fancies himself the poet, but in truth, AM is the greatest storyteller. Vivek knows the boundaries that separate fact from fiction. He knows them so well that he's learned how to break them. He exists inside his verse, but recognizes the lies, the contradictions. He both does and does not believe his own tales. She believes her tales implicitly, as does everyone else. Her capacity for deception appears limitless. She sows lies like a master gardener sows seeds, and the harvest of trust and adulation is breathtaking in scope. Not in the slightest. As I said, we are all of us bound by our nature. Almalexia does what she does because she cannot do otherwise. It will not end well. But then, even the best endings rarely bring joy. Vivek is my brother. He knows my struggles and I know his. That knowledge makes our relationship complicated. To truly know someone is as much a curse as it is a blessing. Regret. We are bound by that at least. He also suffers a kind of enslavement. Not unlike my own, in fact. Beauty holds the keys to his shackles. Beauty and a love of great works, great heights. His appetites are insatiable, thus his despair. Yes, a poet's despair. Vivek craves radical freedom, the death of all limits and restrictions. He wishes to be all things at all times. Every race, every gender, every hero, both divine and finite. But in the end, he can only be Vivek. Not even remotely. I sometimes ask myself the same thing. May I confess something to you? I suffer from a peculiar ailment. Shall I describe it? I bear the cruel weight of certainty. Total, absolute, relentless certainty. People rarely comprehend the luxury of doubt, the freedom that comes with indecision. I envy you. Indeed, but such questions are flaccid, cursory indulgences that come and go in an instant. The truth is that my actions, both good and evil, are inevitable, locked in time, determined by chains of action and consequence. Compelled. This city serves a noble goal. The redemption of Tamriel, the unification of competing forces, the destruction of the Daedra. Unfortunately, it is an endeavor built upon a lattice of corpses. Betrayal, untold horrors. Do you understand? Maybe the word I covet above all others. Hold to that word, my friend, and never let go. I instructed Devaith to run from the battle that is to come. Now, I urge you to run toward it. Long ago I brokered a truce with the princes of Oblivion. This pact bound 8 princes to an oath that they would never again set foot on Tamriel. Nocturnal was not present when the princes signed the Cold Harbor Compact. Thus she flouts its restrictions. Now, this is important. Nocturnal does not act alone. 2 other princes lie in wait, Clavicus Vile and Mafala. Schemers. A prince of foul bargains and a prince of lust and conspiracy. They pose a significant threat to mortals when they act alone. When they act in concert, especially with Nocturnal present, the threat becomes existential. I have preparations to make outside my clockwork realm. You must stay vigilant. Take heed of any Daedric incursions and stand ready to fight. The prisoner wields great power, making reality a metaphor. We will need you before the end. A fool's hope, perhaps. I should explain. Look around you. All of this exists because it must exist. I stand here, in this place, in this moment, not because I wish to, but because I have to. A result of action and consequence. Clever, but incorrect. The prisoner must apprehend two critical insights. First, they must face the reality of their imprisonment. They must see the determinative walls, the chains of causality that bind them to their course. I have, but I fall short of the second insight. The prisoner must see the door to their cell. They must gaze through the bars and perceive that which exists beyond causality, beyond time. Only then can they escape. I see only unsteady walls. If the people of Tamriel must exist inside this cell, I will make sure that the walls are stable, the gaps are sealed, and all who remain stay safe within it. I've met few heroes like you. Very few. I take this matter of the triad upon myself, but in truth, you may be the one that saves us. The prisoner who frees the world. We shall see. Farewell. A sea slode. Interesting. I haven't dissected such a specimen in an exceedingly long unit of temporal measurement. Valcerin took the Right Master to Kapora Tower to administer to his wounds. Luckily for you, I arrived in time to help Valcerin open a path out of the Slode's dying mind. What did you learn before the mindscape collapsed? Yes, I surmised as much. The triad of Daedric princes has become bold in its attempts to influence Nirn, though influence seems to be the least of their goals. The Slode, however, was unable to harvest whatever memory it sought from the Right Master. That revelation disturbs me. I feared the Crystal Tower was too tempting a target for the Daedric Triad. I need to ponder the full implications of their plot. Meanwhile, I suggest you go to Kapora Tower and see how the Right Master is faring. You have given me much to consider before I can determine the path ahead of us. For now, check on the Right Master. Valcerin took him to Kapora Tower to utilize the services of the Psijic healers. How unusual. The Right Master has kept me waiting for an inordinate amount of time. But instead of Ichesis, here comes the savior of the Clockwork City. That leads me to a single conclusion. The Right Master has not returned from the Dreaming Cave. That is unfortunate. I enjoyed my infrequent talks with Ichesis. Well. Now, if you don't mind, I have preparations to make before I take my leave. I am and I did, but the Right Master is no longer in a position to receive that information. Now, once again, I ask? A demand? Interesting. Your assumption is correct. Nocturnal's true purpose in invading my realm was to steal my secret for utilizing life energy as a power source. I suspect she plans to use my technique to amplify the Crystal Tower. The Crystal Tower exists on multiple planes of reality simultaneously and possesses capabilities we do not fully understand. We must assume that Nocturnal's options are infinite. I suggest you find Valcerin and inform her of this development. I find it hard to believe that Nocturnal, Mephala, and Vile worked together for as long as they did. Daedric princes aren't known for their willingness to share. With the heart, Nocturnal moves one step closer to gaining control of the tower. Transparent law. The crystal at the top of the Crystal Tower anchors its metaphysical structure to all realities. With the heart, she can restore the crystal, utilize its capabilities, and make herself master of the tower. The tower straddles every reality. Its true purpose remains lost to time, but I theorize it was created as a watchtower of sorts, a doorway to everywhere. It stands to reason, then, that the tower is the key to omnipresence. Imagine a Daedric prince who can exert influence throughout the multiverse at the exact same moment in time. Nocturnal could become infinite. If she accomplishes that, then her power would multiply accordingly. She would be without limits.
You need to go to Valcerin's study right now. There's a problem. He's really tall.
Knight of Meridia, stay and talk with me. The Tribunal has been warned. They will make preparations in case the efforts here fail. I doubt that even they can weather the resulting storm if the worst comes to pass. As I calculated, your actions will determine the outcome of these events. In part, determining the possible consequences of disparate actions becomes easier when studying the primary catalyst. You have a tendency to fill that role in almost all situations. What happened after the Sapiarchs failed to attune the diamonds? A bold move. Still, I see the logic. Who better to send against their betrayer than the mortal who bested their plans at every turn? If Mephala agrees, you'll be able to assault the tower. I just wish I knew what Nocturnal hopes to accomplish. I'm not sure that's within the capability of the Crystal Tower, but if she uses my technique for siphoning life energy to supercharge the tower... An interesting application of the magic of the Abyssal Pearls. It could work, I suppose. If Nocturnal uses the life force of Nirn to increase the power of the Crystal Tower, she can then use the same technique to steal the energy of the Daedric princes as she invades their realms. Infinite connections, infinite power. Ingenious. Gather your companions and meet me in the Dreaming Cave. We must contact Vile and Mephala so you can enter the Crystal Tower, recover the heart of transparent law, and repair the Tower Crystal. That will require a burst of divine energy, though. Transparent law, The crystal at the top of the tower is as much metaphysical as it is tangible. Only divine energy can reconnect the heart and make the crystal whole. Of course, Nocturnal is aware of this as well. If Nocturnal performs the restoration and once again merges the heart with transparent law, her connection to the tower will become unbreakable. She truly will ascend to an infinite state of being. You must enter the crystal tower and recover the heart. Then find a relic filled with divine energy and repair transparent law. Only then will the tower's innate defenses re-engage and repel Nocturnal's influence. In theory, anyway. Talk to me when you're ready to proceed. This is the moment of truth. Once we begin, nothing can stop the rush to the grand conclusion. Make sure you have everything you need before I activate the Dreaming Cave. Oriandra, Valserin, assist me. Let us open a path and not keep the Prince of Secrets waiting.
Sotha Sil, the false god. I should have expected to see you.
Lady Mafala, will you honor the agreement you made with this mortal? Get the heart and restore the crystal known as transparent law. But remember, you'll need a relic of divine energy to accomplish that. Heed Mafala's advice and keep your companions close to the diamond. Without it, you would be lost in the darkness between realities. Now, recover the heart and restore transparent law. Just remember, you must find a relic imbued with divine energy. As I predicted, your efforts were successful. A slight chance is all probability requires. There is no such thing as impossible odds. You are proof of that. Was that Meridia's plan all along? Perhaps, perhaps not. Your perseverance paid off, however. You never gave up even when the darkness was unbearable. And because of that, the Crystal Tower is safe again. Life and death, it's all part of the ongoing circle. As long as you remember them, they will never be forgotten. It took Nocturnal hundreds of years to put all the pieces of her plan into place. And you wiped it all out with a single thrust of the Dawnbreaker. There will be other plans, I'm sure, but this particular threat is over. Next, every action we take can tip the balance of the flow of time. Bask in the moment and realize that you have done well, my mortal friend. You have saved the Crystal Tower, saved Somerset, saved reality itself. Even I could not have done better. For now, I must attend to other matters. Here you are again. I thought such an outcome likely. The time has come for my departure. I've always felt a sense of peace in Artaeum, but also discomfort. A consistent dilemma within me, which seems to have only grown. I'll be glad to get back to the Clockwork City. There's much to do. While you confronted Nocturnal, I worked within the shadow of your efforts. Negotiations with both Clavicus Vile and Mafala were held, and a compromise was decided upon. The two have agreed to a compact, an end to their direct meddling. Knowing the nature of Daedra, I doubt that shall be the case. However, any direct interference within Nirn should cease, while the terms are met, of course. As for Nocturnal, it seems she's returned to the shadows. Perhaps. She likely contemplates her next course of action even now, given such a defeat. It may be centuries before she makes another attempt. Then again, could be days. Such is the chaotic nature of the Daedric princes. I must decline. Valserin may see me as an ally, but to Somerset, I am a foreign interloper. An enemy of the state. My participation would not be welcome. The need for my presence has come to an end, and so I must depart. And so the gears turn once more, ever changing, yet ever the same. With you always in the center, it seems. I take no pleasure in such distractions from my work. Still, I would not dislike it if we spoke again. Farewell.